The following is all entirely true. No names have been changed to protect the guilty. Prologue. It was 5 a.m. on a Tuesday. I was 3,750 kilometers away from Chicago and CoCoFest 2023. Little did I know of the epic adventure that was about to befall me. I'm Ken, this is Canadian Retro Things, and I'm about to let you know of the adventure that was my trip to CoCoFest and beyond. Day 1 was very uneventful. Unless you count the rain, snow, sun, and every other kind of weather that I encountered crossing the mountains, someone trying to run me off the road in Alberta, and, oh, yes, broken furniture on the road. Luckily, none of it was a couch. And 1,400 kilometers later, we're in Lloydminster to end the day of traveling. Tomorrow, it's off to Saskatoon, meeting up with L. Curtis Boyle. Day 2 was a nice short day of traveling and really was uneventful, so really, there's nothing to say about it. Day 3 began like this. It was a winter wonderland, and this is where the true adventure began. Thanks to the extremely icy roads, Curtis and I were forced to choose a different route than we had planned. In the first 4 hours, we only traveled a little over 100 kilometers. It was then Curtis realized he had forgotten the chocolate bars. You see, it's a tradition, because apparently our Canadian chocolate bars are better, that people put in orders and Curtis delivers them to the show. Because the roads were so bad and we were worried that more roads and border crossings were going to close, we decided to press on. Curtis had someone box up the chocolates and send them by UPS for a Saturday delivery to the hotel in Chicago. It was a good thing we didn't turn back, because we crossed the border just below Winnipeg and made our way to Fargo barely ahead of the road being closed. It had taken us almost 16 hours to travel the first 1,100 kilometers. We were behind schedule, but at least the chocolate would meet us in Chicago. We pressed on until we hit even more snow and finally stopped for the night. Day 4 began with some snowy roads that quickly became sunny and dry as we went southeast. We finally made it to the hotel on Friday, only about 8 hours later than we had intended. We set up our table and had a nice supper, preparing for the next day's festivities and the arrival of the chocolate. Everything was looking great. Day 5 began like any other show day, with my plan to systematically go around and see everything. That quickly devolved into my acting like a squirrel in a nut factory, running every which way with no plan. By noon, the chocolates had not arrived, and Curtis received a message that they had been delayed due to weather. But we had paid extra for fast delivery, so surely they would arrive Sunday? At the show, I got to see many of the people I met last year, as well as some of the people I had not yet met in person. Here's a look at some of the show floor. If you want to see more, I guess you have to come to next year's CoCoFest.
Hello! Welcome to the sibling rivalry table.
So the applesauce is a floppy disk reader. So now let's see.
That's the thing. Looks like the sun was shining through, and this thing shining on the wall. Oh, really? It wasn't blinking.
Saturday flew by, and in the evening, the jam session once again happened. Taylor and Amy of the Taylor and Amy Show once again performed a parody song for the show, but this time they were joined by AJ from Sibling Rivalry. See the description for links to both channels. Day 6 was another day of me running around like a squirrel in a nut factory. By the end of it, the chocolates had still not arrived. Curtis started trying to find out where the package was. Would it be delivered in the morning? If not, he needed to change the address. All that we could find out was that it had left Saskatoon. Day 7 started with a leisurely breakfast before checking out of the hotel, heading to Memphis and trying to change the delivery address of the chocolate bars. This took a few hours to finally get a hold of someone to do it, but by the afternoon it was mission accomplished. The chocolate bars would meet us in Memphis. We arrived in Memphis and had some fun shooting an episode with Taylor and Amy for their channel. But we had an early day on day 8, which started around 4:30 a.m. as we had to drive to Knoxville. Why were we going there? We had the opportunity to get a sneak peek of the museum the Vintage Geek is opening, which will be the subject of another video. There's also a link in the description for his channel. We did some filming, played some games, drooled over some rare vintage computers, and headed back to Memphis to find that the package still had not arrived. But we did find out that they tried to deliver it to the Chicago hotel. Apparently, it takes 24 to 48 hours for an address change to take effect. Now, I don't know a lot about modern computers, but I do know that if I network a couple of CoCos and make a change on one, it shows up on the others immediately. I guess this means UPS needs to switch to using CoCos for their network. Day 9 was a day to be a tourist, so I lived out a dream, headed down to Beale Street and ate at B.B. King's Blues Club. I then spent the remainder of the afternoon watching a band play and drinking beer. It was great. By the time I returned to the hotel, Curtis informed me that the package was supposed to be delivered by 10:30 a.m. the next day. This meant leaving a little later than we had planned, but we would be able to deliver a few of the bars on our way back to Canada. Day 10 began with us sitting on a porch, waiting for the package. 10:30 came and went. No package. The automated phone number told us it was still scheduled for a 10:30 delivery, which was obviously a lie, so we moved on to a real person. That person told us it was actually sitting at the warehouse waiting to go on a truck, but was not helpful when we suggested we could go pick it up. So we moved up to talking to a manager. The manager informed us that, in fact, the package had only just left Chicago on a truck. That was it. We had been defeated by the evil corporation. We had failed on our quest to deliver chocolate bars to the cocoa people. But wait, there's more. That evening, as we drove toward Canada, Curtis received a notification that the package had just been scanned and put on a truck going from Chicago to Memphis. That means everyone we had talked to lied to us. Day 11 found us driving the remaining distance back to Canada. About 2 hours before we reached Canada, we received a message that the package had finally been delivered. 9 days to deliver a package that originally was supposed to take a day and a half. Guess which delivery company I'm never using again? We had no trouble crossing the border and returning to Saskatoon, where I took a day to recover before heading back to the coast. Day 13 and 14 found me traveling back to the coast and was uneventful, other than stopping to pick up some donations for the channel. Those donations and everything I picked up at CoCoFest will be the subject of another video. Well, there we go. It is Monday night. That is 2 weeks after I left. I have now driven just about 10,500 kilometers. For my American friends, that's 6,300 miles. I am home. I hope you enjoyed this little adventure. Join me the next time on the next video when I will be looking at all of the goodies I picked up on this trip. So don't forget that a like, subscribe, and a comment below are all things that greatly help the channel. And until I am unpacked and looking at all the goodies I picked up, I will see you next time.